Hello. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're having a good Sunday. uh so I said I wanted to stream yesterday. I might have slept a little bit long. God damn. Yo, B, what's up? So, B, you know when I went to bed? When I left community night around that time, right? So you know around the time that I actually went to sleep. I might have slept a little bit long. I might have woken up at 1 a.m. on the Sunday. Maybe. That could have been the case. Who knows? Legally deceased. I don't even know how that happened. I woke up and it was like dark. I was like, either it's like getting late in the evening or it's I don't know. And I checked the clock and I was like 1 a.m. Sunday. Did I sleep throughout the entirety of Saturday? Yeah, I guess I slept through all of Saturday. Basically. So that's why there was no stream yesterday. But yeah, today we're gonna definitely be doing bit of the book. We'll see how for how long, and then more Silksong. I'm in the mood for more Silksong today. No Genshin. We gotta silk the song the silk. I don't know. I finally found my way ahead, so I actually want to progress. I know where to go now. Singing Silk Boys. Hell yeah. We're gonna silk the song. I finally want to finish Act 1. Like, we're people have already beaten the game, have like 100% of the game. I'm here like, I'm still in Act 1, guys. I'm taking my time with the game, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. It's such a good game. I'm loving it. That God, there's so much that's gonna come out soon as well. I don't even own it yet. Well, that's on you. It's only $20. You could have owned it already. The craziest thing as well, I actually fell asleep. Or like I napped away for a second during the anime as well. Like I missed the entirety of episode 5. And then I woke up episode 6 right before the dragon. And then I just fucking passed out. I just completely passed out. Saturday did not exist for me. It's pretty cheap, to be fair. Yeah, I am enjoying it a lot. It's absolutely worth the price. But now I gotta get my hands on Little Nightmares 3 coming out in like half a month. Or almost a month. It's gonna be the next big game. Ori and the Blind Forest will also be sometime, since I have that now, thanks to Oasis. We got a lot of things planned ahead. Not sure yet about Borderlands 4. I still have to look at some stuff about it first, like some gameplay and all, but I haven't looked at anything yet, so we'll have to see how that goes. I'm a big Borderlands fan, but I'm also skeptic, like very cautious when it comes to the new one right now. Everyone seems to be saying it's pretty good.
Oh my god!
That's at least good. Hi, Sable.
Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle.
That's at least good to hear. I do see here a video title from a Borderlands creator. It says my thoughts on Endgame already on Borderlands 4, and the title in the thumbnail says Endgame is disappointing. But I mean, the game just came out, so we'll see how that evolves. Crazy that people are already in the end game and everything, but I mean, hey, some people grind their shit out of those games. I definitely have to take a look at everything for it. I won't really judge like Endgame with that kind of stuff when the game just came out. Yeah, it's the same with Genshin Beat. There's people like me who basically it's like, oh, new patch, play new story, done new story, there's nothing to do. Well, yeah, because you already did the content. Like, duh. I'm taking my time with the Genshin stuff right now. It's a new region. I'm doing the story first mostly. I have a lot of exploration still to do, character leveling. Like, I'm gonna be busy. I finished the thing and now it's over. Yeah, exactly. What do people expect? If you beat the new content, there's no content. Simple as that. The opening pause, and I've been purposefully drawing it out. Yeah, like you want to take your time. Absolutely. Usually, like, especially throughout a last version in Genshin and the earlier versions, once I caught up, like I was basically jumping from patch to patch. Like, oh, new content, I'll do that, and then the rest of the patch is me just logging in, doing my dailies, logging off, doing my farming, logging off, because I got no story to do. But I'm not complaining about it. It's my own fault. I'm doing the content as soon as it's out. So I'm expecting to not have anything else to do. It's like, yeah, it's a content patch. I did the content. No other things there. I'm good. Back to my routine. Log in daily, do my farming, log off. I'm very excited though for the Genshin update. The lore has been insane so far. The story in general is cool. The area looks insane. There's still so much exploration to do. So much story to do. And there's more patches to come. We're just getting started. Oh god. I also just saw earlier fucking the Binding of Isaac has a collab now with Fortnite. I'm drinking a Rockstar Energy Blueberry Pomegranate Acai. It's actually really good. I did not expect fucking Binding of Isaac in Fortnite. I think that was cool. Yeah, I do like Rockstar. They have some good flavors. Like one of the only ones I don't really like, at least like their default flavor. Oh god, my hair is Red Bull. I really don't like the default Red Bull flavor. I'm probably in the game. I just don't know it. There's probably some bees in the game. Yeah. Who knows? Overwatch has beekeeper skins. And Overwatch is getting a Persona collab. Like the default Rebel, I couldn't actually tell you what it tastes like. I'm not too big of a fan of it. Oh, wait. I have to, we have to watch this. Before we do the book, guys, we have to watch this. I have not seen it yet. I've seen it recommended to me a few times. There's a new trailer for Resident Evil 9. Haven't seen it yet. But we got a new RE9 trailer. Let's see. I don't have a cam for this right now for just like the corner, so we're doing it camless. We'll see.
Hello? Yes.
Still think she looks so cool. I really like her design. The character that we play as. What was her name? Doesn't say it here right now. Goddamn.
Who was it?
Dunno.
But I really
They
like
asked for
her.
Miss Ashcroft and then they hung up on me. Rude.
Okay, that was part of the first trailer. They asked for Miss Ashcroft and hung up on me. That was in the first trailer as well. Let's see.
Oh, you're FBI? Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
Oh, God.
Grace.
What the fuck?
Stay close to me.
I'm coming.
Okay, this is
Keep moving.
also from the beginning, from the first
What's
trailer.
wrong? I'll explain later.
Still there.
I've been watching you.
Oh.
You're not like other people, you know.
Okay.
You're quite unique.
Tell me what's going on.
Something important.
Mom, I'm scared.
Grace. They're coming.
Holy shit.
There's no escaping your destiny.
All right. Damn. Who the fuck is this guy? He looks interesting. Creepy sounding motherfucker, yeah. Damn. I've seen the gameplay demo they released as well. And God, that monster that chases you around is so creepy. They've really nailed the horror again in this. Like, oh my god. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. February 27th, 2026. Gotta kick him in. Yeah, you could actually choose for yourself if you want to do first person or third person. They have both modes. Kind of like what you were able to do in the with the RE8 DLC. Once you have the RE8 DLC, you can play even the main campaign with Ethan in first or third person. Yeah, with the Rose DLC, because I think the Rose DLC was third person. But from then on, you even got the choice to do first or third person for the main game as well. Playing as Ethan. So I'm glad it's a choice, because some people like the new style, some people prefer the old style. Being able to do both, really nice. I'm happy with that. I'm looking forward to it. I will probably play it in first person, but we'll see. I'm gonna definitely try and get my hands on it. Don't know when the pre-orders will start. But yeah. That's gonna be great. Give me a fixed camera and pre-rendered backgrounds, and then we'll be talk. Like, god damn, it's so crazy to me as well. Like this, like the graphics and everything. This is still RE engine. This is still the same engine from RE7, RE8, Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Wilds, Street Fighter, Devil May Cry. They've been using this engine for so many diverse games. It's crazy what this engine can do. Capcom's RE engine it has its silliness. You know, it has like its silly little moments and wacky stuff with frame rates specifically, but it's a solid engine and it's so versatile. Because like most people have like, okay, you have your big like creator engines as well. Like you have your Unreal Engine, your Unity engine, like the bigger engines where people make games in, and they're pretty diverse. But I feel like most in-house engines are usually like pretty specific for the type of game they do. But Capcom's engine is so versatile. It's absolutely insane what they have made in the same engine. I think Monster Hunter World was one of the last games they've done on their old engine, which was MT Frameworks. But with RE engine, they've done basically everything. Like I said, Street Fighter is in that engine. Monster Hunter is in that engine. Resident Evil is in that engine. Devil May Cry 5 is in that engine. Those are all so different games. It's insane to see how much they evolved that engine over the years. Now, to be fair, they still have issues with optimization, especially with PC ports. Looking at you, Monster Hunter Wilds, specifically. But they did say they're going to be working on it, even though it might have been a bit too late now. Hopefully they can fix it. Their PC ports have always been a bit wonky, I would say. They're definitely more comfortable developing for console with controller controls, but they're trying to put their foot into it. You know, they're doing the best. They're definitely console first. Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely tell with some games. Like, if I remember, I haven't played RE7 myself, really. I've only really watched people play it. But I remember that a lot of people said, like, the menuing felt really wonky with mouse and keyboard. And, like, I can imagine that it wasn't really the best. It was their first game in the new engine. It was, like, there's still, like, more console focus in general. It wasn't really the best. Hopefully, like I said, they'll address the issues of all the stuff about like performance on PC with Monster Hunter. Especially coming up with the Final Fantasy collab at the end of this month as well. Like, that's gonna be a big update, and a lot of people are gonna be hyped for that. It would suck if the game just doesn't run well on a big patch like that, which could be the case, sadly. There's a high probability that it might happen. But yeah, looking forward to it. I don't think, apart from like the performance issues, Capcom hasn't really released anything majorly bad. I would say in recent times, their quote-unquote worst game might have been Exoprimal. It was a good game. I enjoyed Exoprimal. Exoprimal was great, but it felt a bit left behind. The updates were a bit sparse and it kind of fell off, but it's still a good game. That's why I said, like, the quote-unquote worst they've done was Exoprimal. RE3 remake, I can't really say too much about it because I have never played the original RE3, but I heard that they cut out a lot of the stuff and like kind of like made the game somewhat different in that regard. So I can see where it can be divisive. But yeah, like they haven't had like any big flop in recent times, apart from the console or the PC issues and now with Wilds. The games are doing fine on console. Like Monster Hunter Wilds runs smooth on the PS5, to say the least. Can't really complain there, you know. But no, I hope they get that under control and they fix that, and then Monster Hunter Wilds will pop off even more. So gotta play Monster Hunter at some point. Well, if you get Wilds as cross-platform, then again, it's heavy on your PC. I played World, I played Rise, and I played Wilds. I started with World. I still want to go back to some of the older games actually as well. Like I didn't grab it, but I had the opportunity at some point in like a secondhand store for like $5 to buy the PSP Monster Hunter. I'd probably buy it on PS5. Yeah, I mean, I personally haven't had many issues. I had a few visual bugs, but I don't think the game crashed on me, and no like major frame drops or anything. Like it runs fine on PS5. But I also know, especially when we had like the free demo weekend with like the few hunts, like 2-3 hunts, I remember that demo weekend. God damn, the PC version was struggling. Holy shit. The polygons were real. Probably emulate the PSP games pretty well. Yeah, like the very first Monster Hunter was a PS2 game. And I haven't played that. There's some I also just couldn't play because I didn't own the consoles, because there's a Wii game, there's a 3DS game, I never had a 3DS. I never had a Wii. My Nintendo consoles were Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS Lite, nothing, Switch. No GameCube, no Wii, no Wii U, nothing. So I haven't had the opportunity to play any of those games either. Cave paintings and dinosaurs. I still have my PS2. It still runs. So if I can get a copy of Monster Hunter 1, I could play it on the original hardware. But oh my god, how much would be got 2 PS2s, but only one soldier still works. Oh my god. I just typed in Monster Hunter PS2 PAL version. Because obviously I have a PlayStation, a European PlayStation 2. New and sealed Monster Hunter PS2 PAL version. 231 euros. Shit. Complete with handbook and everything, 57 euros, 69.90, 57.75. God damn. Yeah, it's not 129.38. Yeah, it's not cheap. God damn. Holy shit. Yeah. I will probably not get my hands on Monster Hunter for a bit here, huh? 70. Oh my god. And they wonder why we emulate. Right. I mean, to be fair, it's like a 20-year-old game. It's also a lot of like probably like collector's value, especially if you still own like the original copy, the disc, the package, like, all of that. Because not a lot of people will have that, especially with a game like Monster Hunter that wasn't really that popular back in the day. I can see why the prices are like that, but god damn. That is insane. It's just people selling it like used on eBay and stuff, like damn. So who knows? Maybe I'll have to emulate it. The PSP one I could have gotten for $5 when I was in town one time. We have that like used games and like CD store in town that also does like music CDs, all that kind of stuff. And I saw it for $5 and I was like tempted immediately to grab it, but I wasn't sure. And then I didn't. And I haven't been back to that store yet in a while. I doubt it's still there right now. How much does the PSP one go for? Monster Hunter PSP. It's Freedom Unite. How was it Portable Third? I think it was Freedom Unite. Okay, so Monster Hunter, Freedom Unite, PSP. Yeah, okay, that goes for like, I see it here for like 8 to 10 on eBay. Freedom 2 for like $6.89, $9.90, $3.99, $7.99, $8.99. Yeah, like those go around for like 10. It's not as bad as Monster Hunter 1. Jesus. Hey, you can still get it on Amazon. What the hell? Amazon for $11.95. Only 2 left in stock. Wow. I mean, I might have to go back into town soon anyway, because we're gonna be done with our book in like 2 weeks or something. So we're gonna need a new book. Either I'll order the book online or I'll go into the bookstore again, and while I'm in town I can also check for if they still have the PSP version of Monster Hunter there. We'll see. I doubt they still have it there because goddamn, it's been like a few months, but we'll see. You never know. And I definitely need to bust out my Switch again at some point, because like I haven't played on my Switch. Secondhand gaming like there, I mean, I'd say it has a market. I haven't really bought many secondhand games, but like you'd see people like reselling their games on like flea markets or garage sales, and then like those bigger stores that are like secondhand stores, like resellers and all. There's a market for it for sure. I've grabbed a few games from it. I actually bought Bloodborne from one of those flea markets for like $30 or something. Together as well with Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I remember that. Like, come on, I gotta use the Switch again at some point. It looks so good. There. Still think it's one of the best ones they've made, like design wise. It looks so cool. And it just hasn't been used for a good while. Especially the docking station. Like, come on. That shit looks cool as hell. Very pretty Switch, yeah. Literally, I bought it on the day of Monster Hunter Rise's release. It came with the deluxe edition of Monster Hunter Rise. I paid, I think, like $380 for it, and the full Like the retail price was like 430 or 420. I bought it off of someone on eBay, and we personally picked it up from him because he was close by. And we got it for like 380 or something. Because he bought like multiple ones to resell. Why not? It was a good deal, in my opinion. Saving like 40 bucks on a release day Switch. I definitely still need to play more on it. I also have another game on it, which I have not played at all yet. Maybe we'll play it on stream, actually. Let me... I gotta see this real quick. So yeah, I have 2 games on there. Monster Hunter Rise and 13 Sentinels, which I have not played yet at all. But I heard it's also a really good JRPG that I still definitely need to try out. Now this game, I'm not sure if it is. It says Sega of America. I guess my Switch needs a system update. Let me Google it then real quick. 13 Sentinels. It says developer Vanillaware. Published by Atlas. Okay. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is a 2019 video game developed by Vanillaware and published by Atlas. It was released for the PlayStation 4 in Japan and worldwide in September 2020, with the Nintendo Switch version released in April 2022. All right. Okay. Good to know. I definitely still have to play it. I really want to play it. I've had it for such a long time now on my Switch, and I just never played it. Oh well. Let's put it back in sleep mode. All right. That might be a game we can play on stream as well. I have a capture card now. I can capture my Switch. We can make it work. We can make it work. I could even play some Monster Hunter Rise for the good old times with all the DLC and everything. Or who knows? Maybe at some point I'll get Smash. I still want to get Smash. I'm gonna get my ass kicked in it because I'm shit at fighting games like that, but I always play with some friends when we're like meeting up and all. Get my shit kicked in there too, but you know, it's fun. This one playing with friends, yeah. The only fighting game I would say I'm somewhat decent in is Soul Calibur. Especially Soul Calibur 6 and 2. I've played so much. I'm still getting my shit kicked in those games as well, especially if I go into ranked. Absolutely. But damn, they're like at least the ones I'm the best in out of all of the fighting games. That's for sure. I've always enjoyed the Soul Calibur franchise. I played the original, like I played the arcade port on the PS1. I played the PS2 one. I actually never played like Soul Cal 3, 4, and 5. But I remember when 6 was announced, I pre-ordered 6 like a week before it came out. And then a few days before it came out, I busted out my old PS2 and played through the entirety of Soul Cal 2 in like 3 days. Right before 6 came out, and then just straight up jumped into 6. I was always more of a Tekken and Mortal Kombat guy though. I've never really gotten into those. I played a little bit of Street Fighter 6 at a friend's place, and he kicked the shit out of me. I absolutely got destroyed. But Soul Cal is just a great franchise. I always love as well how they always have at least like one guest character from like a different franchise to just add into the game. It was especially interesting in the older times where they had like different guest characters based on the platform. But like Soul Cal 2, I'd say was like the best example, where the PS2 version had Heihachi from Tekken. The Xbox version had Marvel Spawn, and the GameCube version had Link from Zelda, which was really interesting. And I think 3 then had Darth Vader and Yoda on like PS3 and Xbox respectively. I think one of the games had Ezio, like Assassin's Creed. 6 had Geralt from The Witcher, and then through DLCs later, also 2B from Nier Automata and Hamaru from Samurai Showdown. Like, it's always cool when they bring in like guest characters from other franchises. And I'd say Soul Cal does it pretty good. Although I still hate fighting against 2B to this day. Fuck 2B and Soul Calibur. God damn, she was annoying. You're just saying. But yeah. Nothing against the like Nier though. Like Nier are incredible games. God damn. have both Replicant and Automata platinumed, and I love them. I hope we're gonna get a new Nier game at some point as well, or maybe a Drakengard reboot, because I know that like Drakengard actually leads into Nier, and I've never played any of the Drakengard games. I'd adore a new Nier game. I mean, Yoko Taro is a madman. He could make it work, I'd say. Either give us like Drakengard remakes or make like a new game in that timeline. I don't know. He would probably invent a new franchise that somehow then lead like derives from one of the Nier endings or something, from the Nier Automata endings. I don't fucking know. It's something I could imagine Yoko Taro doing. Absolutely. Man's crazy. It's still like thinking of like all the games that released this year. What are like the heaviest hitters so far? Oh my god, wait. I just typed it in, like, god, that was also a game that came out this year. Doom the Dark Ages. Totally forgot about that. Split Fiction, Monster Hunter Wilds. Ghost of Yotei is supposed to drop still this year. October 2nd, apparently. Okay. Borderlands 4 just came out. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like there's damn. Oh, Silent Hill F is coming out this year still? Release date September 25th. Oh. Yeah, there's, oh wow. A new Pokemon game coming out. Clay Obscure Expedition 33. Elden Ring Night Rain. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. There's a lot of pretty big games here. Yeah, we'll see. I cannot wait to get my hands on Little Nightmares 3. After Little Nightmares 1 and 2, fantastic games. I cannot wait. Little Nightmares 3 co-op, it's gonna be so insane. I loved the first two games. And Split Fiction is still something me and my friend need to play because we've played the other two of the other games these devs made, and we absolutely love them. Like both A Way Out and It Takes Two were fantastic games. And we really want to play Split Fiction at some point as well. This year's Game Awards are gonna be insane, huh? Do we have a date already on when they're gonna be? Apparently, okay. Apparently December 11th, which is 2 days up. So it's like last year, 2 days after my birthday. I remember last year, I did my birthday stream starting on December 9th, doing 27 hours into December 10th, going to sleep, waking up, and then starting the stream to watch the Game Awards with you guys. So we'll probably have to do the same thing again, huh? But this time it's not a 27-hour stream, it's gonna be a 28-hour stream. Well then. Good to know. December 11th. Two days after my birthday. I think 1 year they were on my birthday even. But yeah, I always like 2021 they were on my birthday. Right, when It Takes Two won Game of the Year. So yeah, I always like watching them on stream with you guys, because there's a lot that's gonna happen there. And especially on these days as well, I usually also have just some people in the chat with me, like in the voice chat, just watching it with me, reacting to the stuff. So we might do that again this year. If anybody of you guys want to hop into a call, watching it with me, reacting to everything, I'd be down. Absolutely. We have like a watch party in the chat, watching the Game Awards 2025. All these amazing games. Probably gonna have a lot of discussions about what games we like and what would win. We'll see how that goes. So far, I would say out of the games that I've played and what I've heard, like how people are enjoying certain games, Game of the Year is gonna be really tough. Like if Borderlands 4 is really as good as it is, it could be a contender. Silksong is an obvious contender. Expedition 33, a no-brainer. If they allow DLCs, just like how they did last year with Shadows of the Erdtree, we could also have like Lies of P Overture, which was also an absolutely fantastic DLC. There's so much. Alright. I'm gonna have ads running here in a second, and then I think after the ads, we're gonna go into the book. We've been yapping about for a good while here now. I think it's time to start the book for today. We have about, I think, 60 pages left on it. So we'll see how long we do today. We might finish it next week, and then I have to get a new book, guys. I don't know. I don't have a new book ready yet. I'm sad that we have to wait for a while for the Fragile Threads books to continue, though, but we'll find something. We'll find something for sure. I mean, the book that we're reading right now was literally just a spontaneous pickup while I was there anyway. I wanted to read a different book where I was like, hey, this looked interesting, I'll grab it. It wasn't, you know, the best of what we've read so far, but it definitely wasn't bad. I just felt like it wasn't fully my style, I would say. Shame. What, Sable, huh? That I don't have another book ready yet?
Emotional damage!
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll find something for sure. Let's see. I'm just browsing right now as well. Like I have the website open of the bookstore that I go to. I'm just like looking at some of the best sellers here right now. Okay, that seems like it's a full series, but which one would be the first one? Okay. There's a series here called A Court of Thorns and Roses. It incorporates 5 books, it seems. And it called A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. Huh. I read, I'm reading the description. I'm reading the first part of the description. I'm like, oh. Lose yourself in the seductive world of the Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Throne of Glass. Ah, yes. I'm browsing English fantasy books. Bestsellers. Number 26. Volume 2 of Apothecary Diaries light novel. All right. Not the Apothecary Diaries light novel. Project Hail Mary, Throne of Glass, House of Flame and Shadow. The Hunger Games, okay. I do have the Hunger Games as well, technically, already, the first book. Yes, the complete box set for Demon Slayer. Sure. Howl's Moving Castle. Midnight Sun. Wait, I need to check something. It would be something I might do. I already own the book in German, but if I could get an English copy of the book as well, maybe. Maybe. They have an English copy of it here, okay. The thing is, I have already read it in German. So, I don't know. But how would you guys feel about Ready Player One? It's like, I really enjoyed the book myself. I've read it already in German. And it was a fantastic book. I watched the movie first, then heard about that it was based on a novel, decided to read the novel afterwards, and I gotta say, I prefer the novel over the book. But I don't know. Would that be something you guys would be interested in? Ready Player One as a book on stream? I don't know. Could be something we could do for sure. Also trying to look for like new things maybe. Hmm. Doom, 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 doom. I'm literally just like browsing the website right now. I don't know. We'll definitely have to find something soon because this book will end in like 2 weeks or like in a week. Hmm. And I would definitely say, I mean, Ready Player One would be a save option, I would say, because I know it. But if I also want to like go into a new series maybe, or like another like one-off like Book Eaters is, I think Book Eaters is just like a little one-off. Well, I have to find something. Hmm. Oh yeah, let's grab H.P. Lovecraft's Tales of Horror. Sure. That'd be a great book on stream, right? I'd say that'd be fun. Oh, wait. Do they have them in English here as well? That would be cool. Which one is that? I think I've read this specific one as well already, but I don't know if you guys really know the Artemis Fowl books. They're pretty interesting as well. I've read like 2 of them. I could get a bundle here of the first 4 books. which would be Artemis Fowl, Arctic Incident, Eternity Code, and Opal Deception. Which two did I read? What the fuck? I think I read the first one, but the German version had another tagline attached to the name. Lost Colony, Time Paradox. Yeah, I read the first one and the fifth one, apparently. The Lost Colony is the fifth one. So I read the first and the fifth in German. Oh, man. That's great. Okay. Well, it's good to know that. I mean, I just grabbed them randomly in a bookstore at some point. I didn't know like which book in the series it was, but apparently now I know. I got the first and the fifth. Maybe I should grab 2, 3, and 4 at some point as well, huh? And then 6, 7, and 8. Because apparently there's 8 books in this series, and I only read 2. And not even in order. Well, we're gonna look into that more on another time when I have more time for that. Cause like I wanna actually start with the book for today. We were doing so much talking. We haven't even started with the book yet. So are you guys ready? I'll definitely have to look into what book we're gonna be reading next. But for now, we still have this one to finish. So let's actually start for today. And we're at chapter 28, or part 28. Nycteris follows the Firefly. We're jumping back 12 months ago. The quote is, Nycteris followed the Firefly, which, like herself, was seeking the way out. From George MacDonald's The History of Photogen and Nycteris. Seeking out the Ravenscars proved to be a brutal education. Tracking down one of their former drug suppliers was straightforward enough with the address Ramsey had given her. She walked to their basement flat in the city, stinking of fumes and stagnant water. 4 men were inside, faces matching the description she'd been given. She had never before spoken to humans who dealt in drugs or other illicit trade and assumed wrongly that they'd be willing to talk or trade. Instead, they saw her as an opportunity, a woman alone, naive and uncertain, the perfect trafficking victim. When they finished laughing at her requests, they tried to capture her. Her first punch broke a man's neck. Her first kick crushed another man's ribs. The other 2 went down moments later under her frenzied, terrified onslaught. She fled the premises, flustered by her accidental kills and also furious that they had even dared. Later, limping back through gun-scabbed streets lined with faded brick buildings, it occurred to her that she should have approached with more tact. Strange, grim-faced women turning up at illicit warehouses and demanding addresses of secret clients wasn't anyone's idea of diplomacy. She lacked experience in that regard. At least there was a whole list of other names and places to try. But the first encounter had alarmed Devon badly. She dreaded trying again. Her phone still did not ring. Jarrow's silence, another weight on her mind. She should have gone straight to the next town, and yet somehow days slid into another week. Meanwhile, she bought a Polish phrase book to eat so she could talk to Kai, and bought glossy mags and TV guides and books on culture or politics so that she could talk to humans. Sometimes she ate them with ketchup, as Jarrow had taught, to take the edge off the plastic taste. In those days, Kai wasn't perpetually weak from near constant starvation. Nor had she yet fallen into the routine of stalking the next victim. They spent many quiet hours walking in parks or woodlands, expanding the scope of their little world. Still lonely, but at least they weren't bored. Oh my god. I'm gonna butcher the Polish again here so bad. Teshkniza domem, ale tam jeszcze jest ladnie, he said once, and she nodded in relief to hear his approval. The city was nice in its way. She thought about taking him to playgrounds, decided it was too risky. His tongue might show. He couldn't hide it well and lisped strongly when he spoke. To avoid problems, they often went out in the evening or early morning, when fewer humans were around. And the humans themselves were a challenge to her preconceptions. Women in the wider world dressed differently than her aunts or herself. Her long linen skirts drew abundant stares in public. Someone asked her once if she were a part of a historical reenactment. Devon said yes and made a fast exit, because it seemed the safest answer. Sometimes she would watch humans while out and about, this heaving mass of folk, so like and unlike her. Watched women wear jeans and hold hands in public, watched men get married to other men openly, not meeting discreetly like family brothers did. The openness of their affection captured her curiosity. She bought sunglasses and wore them often so that she could scrutinize strangers without anyone noticing. She went to a charity shop and bought the strangest, most daring books she could find. Things she'd never have been allowed to consume while growing up, and then spent a week eating them. Gender, sexuality, beliefs, and relationships branched out into endless layers of complexity, stunning her in the variety compared to the narrow sliver she'd experienced growing up. And books, and life, and the world around. Soon after, she went back to the charity shop and bought new clothes. Jeans, dark slogan t-shirts, lace-up shoes made from dead cow. No idea yet what she liked, but she was going to find out. The linen skirts and long dresses she threw away. No one should have to wear them. The same day, she bought scissors and, standing in front of the bathroom mirror, cut her braids off. The reflection staring back at her was no princess, but was her. That gave her savage satisfaction, as if she had shed a false skin. Another week of that musing, meandering life, and her phone rang. Devon's heart jumped, but it was only Ramsey, filled with chagrin. She pressed to answer. "You fucking idiot!" Somehow, he managed to snarl across the electronic distance. "What are you doing? This isn't a goddamn bloody holiday." Human women do not wander around the city at 2 a.m. with their small children. You look conspicuous. You look odd. No Ravenscar would come within a mile of you. And I have had reports from a book eater who cited you in the city. Do you know how difficult that's made my life? How should I know what to do? I'm not one of them. She bit back, finally getting a word in. I'm learning, all right? Well, learn faster. No more night walks and clear out readings ASAP. Clear out of reading ASAP. Reading. Right, she's in Reading. That's what it was. He snapped. You're supposed to be a fugitive. Start acting like it. He hung up. Devon put her mobile down and looked at Kai, who was watching a black and white silent film on the television. He hadn't noticed her call, and anyway, he still didn't know English. We need to leave, she said, speaking to him in dictionary stilted Polish. For a new city. There are plenty of places on her list. Later that evening, Devon caught a bus in the pouring rain with a damp and grumpy Kai at her side. They sat near the front, because for reasons she couldn't fathom, other humans seemed to prefer sitting in the back. Devon liked the wider view. Reading slid away. Its red brick buildings and throngs of university students left behind in the growing gloom. Devon watched it through grotty windows, with the mobile phone nestled in her lap. Gluttony, Kai said, palm pressed to belly. Gluttony, Devon. She winced. I know, love. I'll get you something to eat very soon. She'd been dreading his hunger, unsure how to go about capturing someone for him. The idea gave her pangs of anxiety. Ramsey had suggested children. The idea made her sick. She resolved not to do that unless truly, truly desperate. How then did one choose? Perhaps she could feed Kai the so-called undesirable humans, the killers, thieves, and rapists. Pretend she was a kind of vigilante people cleaner, like the brooding heroes in Jaro's graphic novels. But eating each person had been hugely affecting for Kai, and Ramsey's often indication that this is normal had frightened her badly. She feared giving her son someone twisted or unkind to consume, and a mental corruption that would cause him. For Kai's sanity and mental well-being, she'd have to choose good people. That in itself was a dilemma. Who was good, or even just good enough? What did goodness mean? How did she assess it? And what did that say about her? Choosing the kindest and sweetest stranger she could find, all for her son's sake? If he became a good person from eating good people, would he not struggle with the morality of it all? It would be the first of many such choices. She hated how hard it was. She dreaded that it would get easier. Maybe quote-unquote normal strangers would do. Ordinary people with ordinary lives. She tried to conjure up an idea of what an ordinary human was like, and could only think of peasants in fairy tales, or the servants' staff in old English classics. And more unnervingly, of the 4 drug dealers she'd killed. The narrowness of her experience appalled her. This skewed intersection of sheltered privilege and lifelong abuse. Even after all the books she'd read and the new experiences she held, family biases limited her parameters. Like Nycteris, she thought, and cringed. There was an old fairy tale called The History of Photogen and Nycteris that she still carried a copy of. The main character in it was a young woman who had been raised by a cruel witch inside a cave beneath a castle. The girl had grown up knowing only darkness, which at the time hadn't seemed much of an issue. Child Devon. But the general idea was that Nycteris' world was narrow. She thought the lamp in her cave was the sun and that the universe was just a tiny series of rooms. She knew nothing of society and had very few books. A relatable situation for a book-eater woman. One day, Nycteris escaped her cave by following a stray firefly. She ended up in the castle garden, but her reactions in the story were strange and unexpected. Upon espying the moon for the first time, Nycteris decided that it must be a giant lamp akin to the one in her cave. She saw the sky and likewise decided it must be another kind of roof. And when she looked at the horizon, she saw not a limitless world, but merely another room, albeit with distant walls. The concept of outside didn't exist for one such as Nycteris, nor could it ever. Her upbringing had given her such a fixed perspective that even when encountering something new, she could only process it along the lines already drawn for her. The story's complexity had baffled Devon as a child, but she understood it well enough now. The truth was, Nycteris never really escaped. Oh, she got a prince and a castle, and the cruel witch died at the end. But Nycteris could not ever leave the cave, because the cave was a place in her mind. It was the entire way she thought about reality. Princesses like that couldn't be rescued. Devon's last thought before falling asleep on the bus was to wonder if actually she'd had it the wrong way around. Maybe everyone was living in a cave, and Nycteris was the only person smart enough to recognize it. The bus arrived in Eastleigh, another town whose name Devon found confusing to pronounce. Her geographical knowledge was scatty, and even with the maps she'd eaten. Gluttony, I replied as they exited the station in near torrential rain. Gluttony. I'll get you food very soon. Ben hugged him close, then yanked back an alarm when he nuzzled at her ear. She should have found him someone sooner, much sooner. Only it filled her with horror, the idea of hunting a victim. She wasn't ready. She would never be ready. Kai was starving and she was running out of time. They found another hotel. Good God, why did everything cost so much? There had to be a cheaper solution. And left him alone again, with just a Game Boy and the television. Time to feed her son. Somehow she had to do it, manage it. Through pure happenstance, Devon sourced her first victim before she'd hardly gone a block. An inebriated old man started swaying after her down the street, asking if she had a spare $5 for a drink, and hey, where you going, girl, on these big tall legs of yours? Devon stopped, turning back to look at him. Are you a good person? And then, because that didn't seem specific enough, she added, are you kind? Huh? He squinted, eyes red from too much whiskey. Will you give me a $5 for say yes, tall girl? Over 60 years old, she reckoned, if he was a day. Long enough to have lived a full life. Sure, I'll take you back to my room and give you a $5 if you say yes. She regretted the offer almost instantly. He was sure to misinterpret what she meant and say whatever he thought she wished to hear. but he surprised her by pausing and giving the question serious consideration. The rain came back in a depressed drizzle, and still he stood, musing, a little sad, very drunk. I wanted to be good, he said eventually. When I were younger, my mom would have liked me to be a good bloke, by being good as a heart, bloody heart. Life keeps grabbing you by the collar, kicking you about. True that. Devon felt an unexpected heat behind her ears, her eyes. Come on, I'll bring you out of the rain. I'm not offering you my bed, but I'll get you a drink and some cash, eh? So simply and easily was a life given away. If shame were an open wound, his handshake was a dose of salt and lemons. Devon brought him upstairs to a starving Kai, and locked herself in the bathroom and cried into her fluffy hotel towels while her son fed to satiation outside. She kept fingers in her ears and the phone resting on her knees, always present in case Jarrell called. He didn't call. The mobile lay silent, inert and indifferent to her prayers like one of the human's immeasurable distant gods. At last, all quiet in the room beyond. Devon got up and exited her refuge. A messy scene greeted her of sheets and blankets tumbled to the ground, a chair knocked over, and Kai lay fast asleep on an unmade bed next to the old man's cooling body. Peace in the midst of that chaos. They were the early days before Devon had learned to be careful or what the phrase ongoing police investigation might mean in relation to victims left behind. She simply carried the corpse to the bathroom and left him propped up against the toilet. He hadn't survived the feeding. A problem for tomorrow. Grief rendered her exhausted and she needed sleep. Later that night, crammed into the single bed, Kai talked to her while dozing on her arm. I never hurt anybody, he muttered. Only a little. Only when she were getting on my nerves. Them fucking coppers always taking the woman's side. God, I loved her, but I were no good to her. I could have been a good man, if only I had not loved. He twisted around. My missus cried like you do, but I didn't do aught to do to you, only her. Why are you crying, tall girl? Too hard to be good, she said through clenched teeth. Life keeps grabbing me by the collar, kicking me about. Ain't that the way of it, said her son. And for a horrible, inside-out minute, she felt as if it were Kai who died, his body inhabited by the spirit of the old man he'd absorbed. But then he said, with a crisper accent, "Good night, Devon. I'm so glad I know English again." "Night, love," she managed, choking out the words from some withered memory of maternal comfort. "Sleep well." Long after Kai, or whoever he was now, drifted to sleep, the weight of everything settled across her like a second skin, tightening until she could hardly breathe or move. It occurred to her that she could just leave, get up, walk away. A few days from now, Ramsey would detonate that bomb and Kai would be no more. Meanwhile, she herself would be fleeing somewhere, fast, solo, off on adventures and cut loose at last. The compass slid cold against her chest. Clarity doused her nerves like a bucket of water in the face. Leaving him was not an option. Courage, she told herself. Breathe in, breathe out, endure. She squeezed the compass tight. The important thing was to focus on her goal. To not let Ramsey and Uncle Ike and Matley and all the rest win. To not fail Kai as she'd already failed Salem. Focus. Find Jarrow, lay out her plan, get him on side, find the sodding Raven scars, steal drugs for Kai, and after that, in the still darkness of her hotel room, the phone began to ring, rattling the bedside table with its vibrations. She scrambled for the mobile, flipping open the clamshell lid. An unknown number using an unfamiliar area code. Her heart pounded a frantic rhythm. Hello? It's me. Ragged, tired, reedy, and unmistakably Jarrow Easterbrook. I got your package, but I can't talk long on here. How far are you from Brighton? And with that, part 28 and act 4 comes to an end. We are now in what seems to be the final act of the book. It's called I Knew. We really are getting close. There's about like 40 pages, 45 pages, something like that left. So we'll see. It's a very interesting book still. Like, I still don't know how to really feel about it. It definitely has a lot of like moral questions, and also just a lot of characters that are just morally so fucking corrupt and just straight up bad. Damn. Oh, we have an ad coming up in a second here, so I'll be right back in a moment. Anyway, I gotta use the bathroom, and then we're gonna be reading part 29. All right, I'm back. How are you guys doing so far? All right, we are now, again, we're entering the final act of the book. Hey, Oasis. How's it going? We're entering the final act. High Noon, Act 5. Part 29. And it is called Grendel and His Mother. We're back in the present day. Maybe every monster is a miracle meant to change the world. A quote by Maria Davana Headley, the mere wife. The room Kai had chosen was a big, over-decorated space, reminiscent of the quarters Devon had occupied as a girl in Fairweather Manor. Teak shelves and faded paintings of frog-eyed humans jostled for space, overlooking a four-poster bed and scattered furniture. The fireplace was cold, and once lush wallpaper peeled and flaked, patches of it subtly mottled by rising damp. Kai sat on the bed, legs crossed and back to her, bent over something. Devon assumed it was the Game Boy until she spotted the little console resting next to him atop the duvet. Hey, she crossed the oak-paneled floors on still barefoot, filthy from miles of travel, and perched on the duvet next to her son. What's up? Kai twisted around and glowered with such hostility that she stopped abruptly. Someone's been texting you, he said, and held out her phone, the one she'd left behind for her conversation with Killock and Hester. New message, the icon declared. 3 of them, in fact, and all from Ramsey. That's mine, Devon said stupidly and reached to take the mobile off him. Kai withdrew from her, holding the phone close. I heard your phone beeping, so I checked it. Who are you texting? I thought you only used this to find Ravenscar suppliers. Her voice had disappeared along with her courage, and she wished the ground could swallow her whole. This wasn't how she'd wanted her confession moment to go. All the danger Devon had faced in her life, and yet somehow this was the most afraid she'd ever been. Why are you hiding things from me? He was beginning to redden, a slow flush creeping up his neck. I thought you were the one person I could trust, who's supposed to be on my side. Who is texting you? It's a long and complex explanation, she said, sounding weak even to herself. Then explain it. He glared at her from under a mop of dark curls. You're lying to everyone about something, and I'm tired of it. Who is texting you? One of my brothers, she snapped, and then clapped both hands over her mouth because she hadn't meant to shout at him. The strain of a long, conflict-laden day. Kai's hostility melted into shock. You have brothers? Of course, she said wearily. Everyone in the manor is related to each other, so all the Fairweather men are my brothers or uncles. Or father. But you never talk about them. No, I don't. Devon exhaled through her nose. She'd never talked about childhood adventures with Ramsey, or the heather-grown moors full of rabbits and foxes. About breaking into forbidden library wings or scrambling on carpets. To Kai, the families were simply a shadowy fear and perpetual pursuit of him. You're right. I've been hiding things from you. Well, no shit. Hey, watch your mouth. Watch my mouth? You're the bloody liar. Devon jammed both hands behind her back to keep from slapping him. I'm your protector, your mother. I do what I need to. Are you going to hear me out or no? Hear what? He shouted, tearful with brimming emotions, still a child at heart. I thought we left the families behind, and you're talking to them in secret? I have no choice. She caught him by the shoulders, gripping hard. You're carrying a surgically implanted explosive in the peritoneal cavity of your abdomen, which the Knights deliberately put there. You understand the words I'm saying? God. Okay, this is gonna go either two ways. He already consumed a lot of adults. Like, he's reasonable, he can think. He's not just an 11-year-old kid. But how the fuck would you react to the fact that you just got told you have an explosive in your body that they can detonate whenever the fuck they want? And that's been hidden from you for years. Kai hiccuped and choked at the same time, too startled to protest or twist away from her touch as he usually did. I don't know whether to be relieved or exasperated that you never asked about the... I don't know whether to be relieved or exasperated that you never asked about the scar on your belly or the missing 8 months of your life. He said, do you remember anything at all between eating Matley and arriving at Oxford train station? Flashes, he said in a small voice. Just bits. You asked me for the truth, she said. Here's some truth. We didn't escape after killing Matley. The Knights caught us and took us to their base just outside of Oxford. In exchange for not killing us, they charged me with hunting down the Ravenscars, who had disappeared, and finding their redemption drug, which the Knights want. And to make sure I stayed loyal, they fitted you with an implanted explosive. Kai's mouth hung open. He looked stricken. I have to report in every 2 weeks, or you die. Devon let go of him to rake both hands through her hair. I do everything they ask, or you die. I found the Ravenscars like they wanted, and the drugs like they wanted. But once they arrive, you'll still die at a press of a button. Unless I take some rather drastic action. Why didn't you tell me this? He lifted the hem of his shirt with one hand, seeking the scar, hovering a palm above it with newfound anxiety, as if touch alone might set the damn thing off. Because you have spent the last 2 years struggling not to starve to death. You didn't need any extra worry of some uncontrollable death threat hanging over your head. She gestured helplessly. I could have told you. I would have told you when the time is right. When would that be? He dropped his shirt, anger reasserting itself. Right when we're trying to leave? After we put a foot wrong and I blow up, maybe? You always do this, Devon. Make decisions for me and drag me around. Why don't you trust me? Give me a say. She flinched. You were so small when we left home. Barely out of babyhood. Now you're 25 different adults, he he said, the answer ready fire. I'm not like other kids. I should get a say in what we're doing, especially if it affects me. You had over a year to tell me. I deserve to know sooner, not the day off whatever you're doing. She groaned, holding up both hands. I know. Truly, I'm sorry I didn't explain sooner. It just never seemed to be a right moment. And this is a right moment? Well, seems like a late moment to me. Look, I'm sorry, all right? Don't say that. He huffed at her, lower lip sticking out. Sorries are just something you say to avoid doing anything different or better. Jesus fuck, she said, stung. I don't want your stupid grown-up apologies, he said. I hate hearing you say you're sorry. She was still reeling from his first broadside. What do you want then? What can I say or do that will make a difference? Give me the truth from now on, always and every time, he scowled, small and fierce. Promise me you won't lie again, at least not to me. Little or small, I want all the truth, always. She opened her mouth to tell him, I can't promise that, because how could she? Who knew what the future would require of her? What sacrifices or private decisions she'd have to make? The sight of his pale, anxious face killed those excuses dead. In a life of endless chaos and uncertainty, she had become Kai's only constant. Her decisions had already damaged and taxed the trust between them. If she didn't draw a line right now, their relationship might break down completely. Devon could not keep him safe if he didn't trust her. I promise, she said, sticking out a hand and trying not to sound reluctant. Shake on it, aye? No more lies between us, even if the truth is painful, and it will be at times. She yelped at his pincer grip, adding, Can't promise this to other people though. Only for me and you. Other people aren't family, he said, withdrawing his hand as she were acidic to the touch. We're family, real family, so we can't lie to each other. Devon didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She settled for snorting and scrubbing her eyes to dry them. Truth then, he said, stubborn as hell, stubborn as her. Why is your brother texting you? My brother is a knight, he said. His name is Ramsay Fairweather, and he implanted you with that. She pointed at his scar and launched into the same explanation she'd given Hester. Family patriarchs who sought to phase out dragons, and rebellious knights who were alarmed by the ebbing of their power. Ravenscar twins who triggered the whole fallout by upending their manor, and herself caught in the middle, teetering between factions, all while sweating from anxiety that someone could walk in on them, or that Kai would decide he'd heard enough and storm off. But he didn't storm off. Her son stood perfectly still, forehead furrowed and eyes dancing back and forth sightlessly, the enormous intellectual power of 25 adults at his disposal. Neither family nor knights will let you live even if you do whatever it is they're asking, he said, when she had trailed into silence. Agreeing to work for the knights has only brought a little more time at best. Exactly. Devon brushed the stray hair out of his eyes, oddly pleased to be having a chat with someone who understood. What a relief to not just be wrestling with everything on our own in silence. Here's the thing. All you and I need is a cure for mind eating and a solution for that explosive. Rest is peripheral to us, existing only as an obstacle. If we get those two things, we could just walk away and never look back. He rested his chin on a fist. The cure is here if we can get it. We can, I think. After talking to Mani, the human man who does a lot of grunt work for Killok, he's going to help us out in exchange for coming with us. Oh yes, the man, I said. Okay, what's the solution for this thing inside me? He was holding his abdomen again, fingers splayed against his shirt. A friend has been working on it. Since when do you have friends? She swatted at him. A man called Jaro, who's helping me escape. The Game Boy you own belonged to him. He gave it to me, and I to you. I see, he said. And she wondered if he really did. Where is he? Traveling up from London. I'm scheduled to meet him tomorrow morning in person before we escape. Will everyone here die after we escape? I actually squeezed her hand. He'll tell me the truth, right? I think lots of people will die. You won't lie. No more lies between us, I promised. She squeezed back. I don't know if everyone will die. If my plan works out, we'll have enough time to leave and then give the Ravenscar some warning so they can clear off if they wish. They believed her warning could not get organized and could get organized in time. What about Hester? I told her the truth before coming to see you. She says, embarrassed all over again that her son was the last person to find out. She's thinking about it. I'm not sure she's convinced though. I pulled at his bottom lip. All our options are dangerous and hurtful. I'm afraid so. She caught herself on the edge of apologizing. No matter what choice we take, someone will always suffer in some way, he said, a little sadly. I gave a sermon on that once. She couldn't let that slide. Not you, the vicar did. Is there a difference? If you eat something and go for a hike, do you say, my food hiked up the mountain today? Or is it just a part of you? You've lost me, love. Never mind, he sighed. Is there really no other way, Devon? If there is, she said, then I've not thought of one, even after all these months. And now we're out of time, he said, looking at the clock and then the sky visible through their bedroom window. Normal lies, but it's too late for me to make the choices. The only way is your way now. He paused. Do I even want to go with you when you leave? This question hurt. She tried not to let it show, tried to focus on the right words to say. No, Kai, you do not have to come with me. I'm going to help you escape from here, with enough redemption to live on. You're not a child the way other children are. You wish to be free of me as well, and I won't stop you going. I won't stop you going once I've got you out. She would never keep him bound, the way the family had kept her. Devon had strong feelings on that one. He looked at her sidelong. Wouldn't you hate me if I left you? No, never. No matter what you did. Really, even if I betrayed you, he was studying her intently now, scalpel sharp. Even if I ran and told Killock everything, and then I lived here with him, and we ate people together like brothers for the rest of our lives? I think you were making a mistake, but yes, even then. He mulled that over, still fiddling with her phone, and she felt like a prisoner awaiting their sentence, resigned, and was at peace. Into the breathy silence between them, Kai held out the phone to her and said, I want to stay with you, even though you lied about so many things. She couldn't not ask. Why? Because you're a monster. Like that man said the night I ate Matley. He scooted over and gave her a hug, thin arms circling her waist. A surprise. A mean, tall, angry monster who looks out for me. Oh, is that a compliment then? Devon said, a little faintly, and indulged herself by hugging him back. I know what Matley thought of me. Everyone is scared of me. Even the other mind eaters here. You're not scared of me because you're an even bigger, meaner monster than me, Kai said, face muffled against the joint of her shoulder. You would eat the whole world to help me out, and I'd do that for you too. You're my monster, and I'm yours. Even though I'm sad you lied to me, and I'm sorry that we have to hurt more people, we must go together because we are a monster family. Only pride kept her tears at bay. I'm glad, she said, trying and failing to not sound choked. Understatement of the year, but I'm glad. I do have one condition, said Kai, twisting his face up toward hers. I want to come meet your friend when you see him tomorrow. You know, Mr. Game Boy guy. Can you tell me more about him? And that's the end of part 29. That was, I would say, one of my favorite parts so far. It was a very honest, open conversation between them, which I felt has been necessary for the longest fucking time. Kai obviously was already ready for it. I mean, he had, like he said, he has the mind of 25 adults inside of him. Even though he's 11 and he's a child in body, after, like, you know, everything, his mind is old and mature enough to probably, you know, comprehend everything Devon had to say and actually have a normal conversation and a necessary conversation about this. I'm interested to see where this is heading now, but I already saw that the next chapter again will be back 2 months, 10 months back in the past. So we won't get an immediate resolution. But I would say this has definitely been my favorite chapter so far, or my favorite part. Oh god, it was very good. let's continue with part 30. Happily Never After. 10 months ago. The quote this time. The prince heard a voice and thought it was familiar. He advanced toward it, and as he approached, Rapunzel recognized him and, crying, threw her arms around his neck. From the Brothers Grimm's Rapunzel. It had been so incredibly long since something had gone right. Devon hummed happily all the way from Eastleigh to Southampton, was still humming when she caught a straightforward train to Brighton with Kai in tow. She endured a call from Ramsay at noon railing about obvious victims left in hotel bathrooms and police who sought a woman of her description. She promised to do better and shrugged it off. They were already on the move. What was the fuss? I don't like traveling. Kai had scarcely looked up from Mario, preferring to hide himself in the safety of the game when he put the console down long enough to frown out the window. Where are we going now? To the seaside. Salem would have wanted to go to the seaside, she thought disconnectedly. Shells and sand. You'll like it. Even better than where we were before. He pulled a 4-year-old's pout and said in an old man's voice, Can I have a larger? I miss having a larger with my... can I have a lager? I miss having a lager with my lunch. No. Less than an hour later, Brighton rolled into sight, with its mix of souvenir shops and authentically archaic buildings. The tail end of February was not a popular time to visit, and the streets were eased of their burdensome tourists. She paid an exorbitant amount of money for a hotel room, this time by the sea. And then, because neither she nor Kai had ever seen a beach before, let alone the ocean, they walked down to have a look. It was en route to the pier anyway. Beaches and books were soft, friendly, sandy places, warm and deliciously tropical. Devon's fiction-fed imagination had prepared her for such imagery. Brighton defied that utterly. Instead of sand, the shore was comprised of pebbles and rocks that bit Devon's feet, just small enough to get stuck between her toes, but still large enough to dig deep. The sky was a smear of rotten gray, the ocean a cold soup of bitter salt that left a silty residue on her skin. I mean, it's Brighton, innit? Amazing, Devon murmured, and Kai nodded emphatically in agreement. It was the most beautiful place they'd ever seen. Raw, real, authentic, hard-edged and unpretentious. In another life, she might have stayed here forever, lingering on that boundary between sea and earth. The kind of place you could get lost and find yourself, if you ever made it anywhere safe. Devon hoped it would have a rocky beach to wander on. Despite the unfriendly weather and lack of tourists, the boardwalk was populated with small carnival rides, each plagued by a handful of human children in coats and shoes. She and Kai wore only jeans and short-sleeved t-shirts, and Devon realized they stood out in a bad way. They'd need coats as the weather got colder if they wished to fit in. Can we go on the rides tomorrow? Kai said, awed and oblivious to her self-consciousness. Almost no trace of that old man when he was excited, a thing she found curious and hopeful. Aye, why not? They walked along the waterline for a while, ambling slowly toward the palace pier. A handful of swimmers braved the sinking light and single-digit temperatures. Devon scanned every face that passed. None were her Easterbrook prints. Shouts and laughter from elsewhere on the seaside peppered her peripheral hearing. Groups coalesced and dispersed. The tide washed low, leaving strips of pebbles for them to clamber on beneath the pier, and wet shoes and spray-lashed jeans. Devon paused beneath the beams, inhaling the tangled scents of salt and wood rot, lapping water through wet echoes around the pier's cavernous underside. Somewhere in the city's cathedral clock struck a late hour. No sign of Jarrow. "I'm bored now," Kai said. "Can we go to sleep or watch the telly?" He had stopped asking to go home in recent weeks, having finally understood that Easterbrook Manor was lost to them forever. "Yes," she said. "We'll go back to the hotel." Devon pivoted, crunching up the rocky sand. If Jarrow did not show up then, she would simply manage on her own. Had she always in the end? A glimpse of movement caught her eye. Too fast and fleeting for a human. And she paused. Devon saw perfectly well in the dark, but here beneath the palace pier, where the wooden beams rose like a branching forest, it was difficult to get a good line of sight. "Why are we stopping?" Kai wheedled, tugging at her hand. His childish lisp was particularly strong just then. "Corey will be on the telly soon. I like catching a bit of Corey." No, the old man liked Corey. "You've never seen a single episode," she retorted, and regretted the careless words immediately when his eyes filled with tears. Not his fault. None of it was his fault. "Sorry, I didn't mean that. We'll head back so you can catch Corey, eh?" She wasn't even sure what that show was. It's some kind of soap opera thing. So what, she thought. It mattered to her, and it cost her nothing to indulge in his interests, regardless of their source. "Okay," he sniffled and wiped his nose on her sleeve, mollified for the moment. They picked their way up to the pathless gravel beach. This time, when that same flicker of movement tracked in the corner of her vision, she didn't stop or look sideways. Definitely not human. In a handful of minutes, she was off the shorefront, across the road, and bundling Kai up for the set of stairs to the expensive in cost, but cheap in furnishings room. She turned on the television, helped him find his silly program while he sprawled on the bed. "I need to go back out," she said, careful to sound casual. "I think I've dropped my phone on the beach. Will you be all right, dear?" His gaze flickered briefly at the mini fridge. "I'll be fine." Devon frowned. "For the last bloody time, you're barely 4 years old. You don't need and cannot drink any lager. Touch that fridge, and I'm chucking out the Game Boy." Okay, he scowled. "I won't have any." Good lad. Back out on the promenade, the sweetly darkening streets speckled with lights and laughter. Brighton did not want to sleep. The beach, however, had emptied of people. Humans had enough sense to retreat from a cold, dark ocean they couldn't safely swim in. Devon huddled into herself, a habit she'd acquired over recent weeks in a bid to look shorter, and slouched down to the shorefront beneath the palace pier. She stumbled across the rocks in her unnecessary human sandals, the hems of her jeans already damp from trailing over wet ground. Jarrow was waiting. No hiding or skulking this time. He simply stood at the water's edge, hands in pockets, almost motionless. The hoodie was gone, replaced by a nondescript bomber jacket out of an out-of-date style better suited to a man twice his age. His curls were shorn into a military buzz cut. The beard was new and unruly. He also wasn't alone. Next to him stood a tallish woman, feet bare. Her dark hair was bound in a Victorian bun, and she wore a crocheted shawl like a Jane Austen heroine, albeit with Mediterranean coloring. This surely was Victoria, the invisible presence whose vivacious personality had been stamped all over the games room at Easterbrook Manor. "Hey," Jaro said without turning around. "Been a while." Devon opened her mouth to say something sensible and burst into tears. Nearly 4 years since that fraught bedside goodbye. She was again unable to speak, this time hiccup crying into her sleep. Everything circling back, cycling around. The months of planning and silence, her uncertainty over his commitment, mutual courage, shared resolve, the long separation. And in that time, what had she become? Seen, done. Did he still know who she was? Did she still know who he was? Their relationship was so fractured and disparate that she hardly dared to call it a friendship at all. Pull it together, Devon told herself, and wiped her nose on an already soggy sleeve. "Sorry, how are you? I'm really sorry." "I don't know what you're sorry for." Jaro scooped up a stone and skipped it badly across the uneven salt water. "We're just enjoying nature. A nice, peaceful chat, aren't we, Vic?" Victoria Easterbrook nodded. Her gaze looked over the sea, and she seemed perpetually lost in thought. "This is my sister, by the way," he said. "I've told her about you, and she was happy to come." "Pleased to meet you, Vic." Devon cleared her throat, composure regrowing second by second. Dark brown eyes met her gaze and then flicked away. Victoria said with an obvious effort, "Evening." "We have good days and bad days," Jaro said. "But she's feeling better than she did a few years ago. That's what she says anyways." "I'm glad to hear you're feeling better," Devon said, addressing the other woman. Privately, she wondered whether today was good or bad, and what the reverse looked like. To Jaro, she added, "How's exile, Princeling?" He groaned. "Boring and privileged. Stifling. I do IT stuff. They still let me play games. Mostly, though, I get to see Vic. That's the main thing." IT? Is this some kind of drink? What? No. IT stands for Information Technology. Computers and the internet and shit. The families are trying to get hip with voice-to-speech programs. It's a way of writing without writing, you know? Devon shrugged. She didn't know. "I'm glad you're here. The nights are intermittently watching. I hope you don't get into trouble." "Me too." Jaro bent and gathered a handful of 2 sharp pebbles in both hands, rattling them absent-mindedly. "Sorry I didn't call sooner. Got the package, didn't open it, forgot about it, finally looked in it, and then took me a while to work up the courage to call. Once I found your message and realized you were the sender, also took me time to find a phone." He sighed, tumbling the pebbles back to the beach. Victoria, despite her silence, angled her shoulders in their direction, listening intently. It doesn't matter, Devon said, the agony of past months already washing out of her. You're here now. I'm grateful. I promised I'd get in touch. Couldn't leave you hanging. Bullshit. You absolutely could have, and no one would have faulted you for it. I'm your brother's killer, after all. The last bit she said with a wrench of bitterness. A satisfied smile ghosted Victoria's face, though it faded quickly. I don't believe that rumor for a second, Jaro said. That said, if you feel like telling me what you really went down, I wouldn't mind hearing it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. She did mind, but he deserved the truth. Reluctantly, she talked about her that night in a voice so quiet that the ongoing tide almost drowned her story. Basic facts, simply stated, nothing more. Around them, the ocean clattered rocks together in slow, angry surges. The air was so thick with salt and damp that Devon thought she might pickle. Victoria listened too, edging closer to Devon, though she still kept Jaro in front, like some kind of body shield. When the story finished, Jaro said, Madley's death was announced a couple of days after you left. The Knights have gone AWOL, for as we know, and the Easterbrooks blame you for everything. Are you okay with what happened? The brothers hadn't got on, she knew. Still, family is family. Psst, it's 2 years ago. I've made my peace since then. You weren't exactly close in any case. Jaro rubbed his nose with the heel of his hand. Speaking of relatives, where's your son? I saw you walking with him earlier. He's really grown. Back in the hotel, she said, adding, it's not his fault, the stuff with Madley. Don't be angry at him. I'm not angry. Told you, I made my peace. Jaro began to pace back and forth with noiseless steps. A sting operation? Going after Raven scars? He shook his head. It's like a low-budget action film. The Raven scars are very real, she said. And so is their cure, if they still have it or use it. Why would they even deal with you? Why would... Oh, forget all that. Jaro caught her arm gently. None of this matters, Dev. Let's just leave it all behind in their rubbish politics. She blinked, brushing windswept hair out of her vision. Leave it behind? You mean run away? Confusion creased his features. Isn't that what you called me down here for? To talk about how to run away? He gestured at his sister. Vic and I are ready to go tonight if need be. Tonight? Right now? She laughed, even though nothing was funny. Oh, Jaro, where would we go? Victoria had gone very still, her face pensive. Ireland, like I suggested before, he said immediately. Don't have many people, and the family has no reach there yet. That doesn't work, she said. My son has been fitted with a surgically implanted explosive. If I don't check in regularly, Ramsey will kill him from a distance. Ah, he said. Shit. Oh, shit indeed. We can't get around that, Jaro said, rallying with a speed that impressed her. If you know what kind of device, we should be able to interfere with the signal. Faraday cage or a transmission blocker. Devon wanted to hug him for that. Instead, she said quietly, I have no doubt you're correct, but in many ways, that device is the least of my problems. My son also needs feeding every month, soon every fortnight. Eventually, he'll need someone every week. If we block that signal permanently and go live somewhere remote, Where will we find food for him? A person a week for the rest of his life is no small matter. All good points, Victoria said softly. Her brother gave her a surprised glance. Running away would get him killed, Devon said. Remote areas don't feed my son. However, if I do what the knights ask, Ramsay will not let me live. Ramsay will still not let me live. There's no way out of this trap. There's no happy ending for me or my children. She kicked at the beach, sending sand and pebbles flying. Do you see the bind I'm in? And at least one alternative, Daro said. You know what I'm going to suggest, don't you? A raw wind scoured the shore, scattering water droplets, and Devon said, No, I won't abandon Kai. Why not? He flung his arms wide, making his question as big as the world. At least consider it. Living remote would be easy for you and me. No special considerations, no drugs, no human victims. We could be in Ireland by tomorrow if we left tonight. I said no. I'm not going to Ireland without my son, or anywhere else for that matter. I'm not leaving the city without him. I'm not abandoning him for starvation or taking him away just to watch him become a monster, even if it kills me. Daro stared. How can one child be worth the loss of everything else? How can you justify this cost? Victoria drew her shawl tight around herself. Her gaze was focused, thoughtful, weighing the pair of them. Devon sought her compass, fingers curling tight around it. Love doesn't have a cost. It's just a choice you make. The way you choose to keep breathing or keep living. It's not about worth. It's not about price. Its concepts don't apply. A space of 2 breaths passed. Her tense, him coiled. Elsewhere in the city, the clock struck 10 p.m. On a palace pier above, lights were dimming, some going out completely. Fun had ended for the evening. Then I can't help you. His temple throbbed, veins strained against skin by high blood pressure. I kept my promise. I came to see you, never minding the risk to me and Vic. But you won't save yourself, and you can't save your children. There's nothing I can do, actually. I don't know why you bloody got in touch. Victoria reached out and laid a hand on her brother's arm. Daro, be calm. I am calm, he groused. She's the one being ridiculous. I said it then. Devon's cheeks stung from the wind, but her eyes were dry as a library shelf. Just go back to family life. Live like a peon. Shunted from manor to manor, complicit in trafficking, forced marriage, crimes. It's better than dying, he railed, terribly loud on that barren beach. It's better than watching you die on a quest you can't win, for a monster you can't save. I have Vic look out for, and you're a lost cause. You hear me? I have a fucking limit. I don't, Devon said. The family took my limits away. Or motherhood did, I'm not sure. Your defining trait, he retorted, and she'd never heard him sound so bitter, so calcified. Being unwilling to abandon your kids is why you're here, and it's why you'll die. Ramsay knows you won't abandon them, and he's bloody using it against you. On the contrary, I think I can win this. Jaro, Victoria said again, louder. She sounded exasperated. Just a sec, Vic. Listen, Dev, for the love of fuck, this is not and never will be a game you can win. So let's exit the game, Devon said. Stop being a piece. Change the rules. Jaro threw up his hands. You just said that was impossible. Unless, she said, we do what Ramsey wants, to a point, find the Raven Stars, like he wants, Kai needs them anyway, then we build your signal blocker, or your Faraday cage, whatever you call it, and take off into the night, with drugs for my son. It's the most ridiculous plan I've ever heard. He glared at her, dusky skin flushed with fury. There's a million sorting variables that need to fall into place, and I refuse to be... Jaro, Victoria said, almost shouting. We must help her. She let go of her shawl entirely to shake her brother's arm. Indifferent as the crochet drape fluttered off her shoulders, tumbling across the beach. What? He said, astonished. Vic, you can't be serious. I am utterly serious, she said, empathic and deliberate. We must help your friend, because no one ever helped me. Her words might as well have been a sucker punch. Jaro seemed to deflate, looking suddenly much older than his years, and very tired. I hear you. Victoria swiveled up toward Devon, hair fraying loose in the persistent wind. I hear you, Devon Fairweather, and I know you're right. Love is no cost for our children, living or dead, here or gone. No cost, Devon agreed and extended her hand. After a moment, Victoria took it. Her grip had strength. Gods and demons help us. Jaro scooped up a razor-sharp shell, running his thumb along its shattered edge. All right, Dev, I'm listening. How are we going to play this? By taking one step at a time. Devon flicked the compass open, turning slowly till the needle faced north, the sea at her back with all its endless strength. Talk to me about signal blockers. And that was part 30. And I think that is where we're going to be ending for today. And then next week, we'll do the last 30 pages of the book. Next week will be the end of the book, guys. The plan is crazy. And we've seen it come into motion right now, because obviously this is past, like this is 10 months in the past and all that. So we've seen it starting slowly getting into motion. But I don't know. It seems almost inevitable that something bad will happen. And I would still say my favorite part so far was the part before where Kai and Devon had that very honest talk, no lies, telling him everything and him being reasonable, and actually having a conversation about it. That was a really good part. So now what do we do? What shall we do? I just rolled over my foot. I think methinks we could do a little bit of the Song of the Silk. Wouldn't you guys agree? We could do a little bit of Silk Song for a bit. Why not? Gotta start this. Okay, that works. And then we go here and here. Give me a second. Right. Okay, so there's this weird thing going on right now where like my follower count is increasing, but I don't get notifications of people following me. It increased by like 3 over the last stream, and none of them show up in my like feed of following. So I don't know what's going on there. Hi Abby, hope you're doing well. I feel like there's some like weird botting going on right now or something. I don't know. I didn't do anything. So I'll have to monitor that over the next few days. Better, I'm glad to hear. Because that doesn't seem right. That's for sure. It's like I have a bot, like my bot, I can check like who follows as well on it, and I do see 2 names after the last name that shows up on stream of like follows. Those names are kind of similar to the ones of the like in a similar style of the ones I recently banned, which were like the ones like, oh, can we get in contact on Discord, you know, about my art and stuff. So I just banned them. The names are very similar to that. So I don't know what's going on, why they're not showing up as like follower notifications on Twitch or on the events page, like on the events tab in the top left there, which is kind of concerning. And I hope I don't get into trouble for that, because this is not me doing that. This is some weird shit that's going on right now with whatever the fuck is going on. I did nothing. Almost 3. Holy shit, let's go. So yeah, I don't know. The last, like, before I started the stream, I was at 555 followers. I've gained a follower during this stream. There was no sound notification. There's nothing in my activity feed of them following. And they're not showing up yet on my bot. The bot sometimes takes a bit to update the page of people following, but something really weird is going on Twitch right now. And been lagging a lot lately. I did see an increase as well of those people that would come into my chat and then just like start talking for a little bit, be like, hi, how are you? How's your good games going? And then they would immediately go for the art stuff, and then I would just, you know, ban them, right? Get rid of them. I've been having them like almost once a stream at this point. It's crazy. And like I said, the names are in a similar style to those accounts that I've been getting showing up on my in my streams. So I don't know. This has been kind of weird. They don't like, some of them don't even follow. They just like, they type in chat, they talk to me, you know, normally like how's it going, all that stuff, and you know, and then they wouldn't say something for a bit, and all of a sudden they just hit me with it. Actually, could we get in touch on Discord? And then just ban, you're gone. So yeah, I don't know. That has been happening way more recently. That's why Twitch has the new bot thing they've been doing. We have to use a channel point or something to keep from being flagged as a bot. What the fuck? I haven't seen that yet. Damn. That's There. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just confused right now in general. Like why they're not showing up. Cause like, yeah, I understand that like they're not counted as views and all, but the fact that it didn't show up as a follow on my page. Okay, I'm back down to 555. What's happening? So I just noticed you see in the top left, like right. Wait. Yeah, right there. That the last person that followed me is Joseph JMS. And that was 553. And now I'm at 555. And if I check my bot, I can see all the people that follow me. And in the bot, there's 2 people that followed me after Joseph. But they're not showing up in my activity feed in my creator dashboard on Twitch. And they're not showing up in the activities up there. But the name structure is similar to what I've been experiencing recently with those people. I'm sure you've seen them in my chat as well, like the ones that like say just like hi, how are you, and then all of a sudden start talking about like adding me on Discord about their art and stuff, and then I just, you know, delete their message or ban them because that is just not something you do. And yeah, like I don't fucking know what's going on. Twitch has a new shit going on, I guess. I know that they recently changed like the whole bot view botting stuff. And everything that's going on with that, but it still feels weird. I don't know what is causing that. Yeah, that's like what's going on right now. I'm just like very confused about. I don't think it will have an impact negatively on my channel right now. It seems to maybe be an issue that's going on in general. Let's see. like, yeah, I don't know. I'll leave it for now. See what happens, but like it's definitely weird. That's for sure. Also gonna check something else real quick. No, I haven't got anything here yet. Okay. You follow uses it maybe IO web service and it bypasses other tools. Maybe. It's just like I said, it's not only that it's just not showing up there on there, but you know, I currently have my dashboard open, like the actual like Twitch dashboard, and the activity feed also shows like everything that's going on, like my raids coming in, people using channel points, new followers, shout outs that I've gotten from other channels and all. They show all of that too, but those two don't show up. Those two don't show up there either. They completely bypassed even Twitches. Yeah, that also shows up. Thank you for the 1 bit. That also is on the activity feed. Testing your feed, right. I don't know, that shows up. Give me a second. Right. I can show you here for a moment as well. There. So yeah, this is the activity feed. All the recent things that have been shown on here. Obviously. Your cheer, all that stuff. Last follow here, Joseph JMS. And if we go into my bots dashboard, like list here, here's Joseph JMS following me, but there's 2 people that started following later. This is Diana David and Daisy Grace. But they don't show up anywhere. I don't know. That is kind of weird. But like I said, the name structure is very similar to the ones I've been banning recently. already. Let me just where is it? Bots often bypass stuff like scalper bots bypass shop page, just skipping any queues and go straight to the payment API. Yeah, it must be. I would assume so as well. It's insane though. And it could make me look like I'm inflating numbers by like view botting or something, which obviously I'm not fucking doing. And I just feel like right now with like all the view botting shit that's going on, that is a bit concerning. But I think I will be fine. At least I hope I will. Ponies and get you banned for these 2 subs here. No, it's like sometime like Twitch has been going on about like the whole view botting thing. Like they probably have like a system going on that would detect people that do that. They don't need to be reported. And even if it's just 2 right now, there could always be the concern that maybe my account gets flagged because of what's going on right now. Not saying it will, but you know, with the current thing that's all going on with Twitch, I don't know. It's just something I'm aware of. We'll see. I'm not do anything for now because we're also about to hop into a game. Stupid. You've been a streamer, you like by thinking some bot. I mean, stuff like that happened before. Like, it's not out of the question, but like, I don't know why people would do that. The only reason I just saw all of that mostly is because I just wanted to go into my dashboard and change like my title and game and everything. And I saw that it jumped from 555 to 556. With nothing showing up, obviously, again. And now it's back down to 555, but the fact that it also jumped to 556 for a moment with like no follower appearing in the feed and everything, just during the stream, that was concerning. All right. What are we playing? You'll see. Yeah. It's time for more Silk Song. Do, 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 do. You know the way? Yeah, I did find my way. Let me just check again if the death counter works as well. Yep. Okay, there we go. Death count is full auto. It's just with hotkeys. Plus is adding a death. Minus is removing a death. It can't track like the deaths in game. I click it as soon as I die, so. I have an extra little program for that. All right, I'll be right back, and then we'll hop into Silk Song. All right, I'm back. No, wait, in Celeste, I just had, you know, the automatic death tracker from the game. I didn't add a death counter, I think. I did for Lies of P DLC, though. And now for Silk Song. Yeah, right. We did get the map for this place now. I remember. Oh, right. Just go up here. And we need to get our shit back, which we dropped in the room here, apparently. God. Oh God. Come on. Oh my God. Bruh. That's a good start, huh? I hate that enemy. This is fine. Da, 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 da.